Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jan. I have Nathan here. Oh boy, what a Monday yesterday. I think it was the worst Monday in 20 years in the stock market. What are we seeing in crypto?
It was the worst month in Monday of all time. It was a wild day yesterday, man. I mean, we were used to some volatility, and I think a lot of people were expecting Monday to be pretty bad. It actually ended okay, but I mean, just look at this candle. We started the day out around 78 and pretty much immediately just started plummeting well under 75K. I know a lot of people had 76,500 as kind of a line in the sand, which was harkening back to the March low here that wicked down to 76,500 there. Obviously, right through that, down to 74.5, but we closed the day back positive. Yesterday at, was it above 80, right around 80,000, like, yeah, 79,200, somewhere in there, going as high as over 81,000 yesterday. Overall, I think it was 8% top to bottom here yesterday. Yeah, 8.5%. And it wasn't just down and then back up. It was down and up a little bit, then down some more, then back up, then down some more, then up really high, and then back. We were just all over the place. You combine that with the dump on Sunday. Sunday we were at 84,000 to 74,000. So 10K swing in a little
Dude,
under.
this reminds me of the good old days when we got 20-30% swing in a day.
Yeah.
So nostalgic.
There's a lot of people direct yesterday. A lot of FUD going on, and typical crypto Twitter type stuff. That's something that's really good to iterate for people out there. I know our audience really isn't a newbie audience, but guys, you just cannot get caught up in the FOMO. You cannot get caught up in all the nonsense going on crypto Twitter. I saw multiple big Twitter personalities yesterday just absolutely doing 180s back and forth all day, from we're wrecked, the market's over, sell everything, we're back there, to we're back, baby, it's on, all if you panic sold here, you're an idiot, you should have been buying more, like, just people all over the place. So yeah, you can't let your emotions rule you, and you can't blindly trust any of these.
I agree. I was surprised about the one tweet that came out. So basically, there's one account that tweeted like, "Hey, Trump is gonna take a 90-day break," and basically it wasn't true, and we just wiped $2 trillion from the market or something. Like, just ridiculous. One tweet, and you basically break the whole system down. And it wasn't even true.
No, I actually have that. Let me switch screens here. Yeah, I've actually got that tweet you're talking about here.
Yeah, but this is how ridiculous the world is at the moment. Like, if there's news outlets out there that will pick whatever without like verification, that's a pretty dangerous game.
Yeah, so I think what I did a little searching on this. It looks like this is where that rumor started. It was a White House economic advisor, Hassett, was on Fox News. They were asking if he'd do a 90-day pause, and he gave kind of a non-committal. We'll see what President Trump does. And then, like you said, one major account took that headline, posted it, and we saw the traditional markets. I think it was in a span of 8 million. We saw $3 trillion come in, and then after 5 minutes, I think it's about 5 minutes or so, White House denied it, and bang, right back down, $2.5 trillion. So in a matter of total here, 8 or 10 minutes, a $3 trillion swing in the stock market. People like to talk shit on crypto being fake and manipulated and a little more volatile than it should be. But the traditional markets aren't a whole hell of a lot better.
No, this is bad, man. Like, for real. Like, imagine if this happens with like war news or anything else, which is actually true. But like, oh my God, what's next?
Yeah. So speaking of what is next, what are your thoughts here? I'm going to switch back over to the charts here. where do we go from here? I mean, I was one of those guys. I was on the side of, firm hard line in the sand here at 76.5K, can't be violated. Well, got violated pretty hard yesterday. However, we didn't close anything below there. Typically, wicks below support tend to kind of invalidate, don't necessarily invalidate, trade setups or kind of support setups typically. We got back above, we closed about 78.5, so well above the 76,500. And now we're sitting around 80,000 again. What's your take on this? Where are we going from here?
Yeah, I think you have to put the graph in front, but anyway, like my take is still this. I've been repeating myself for a while now. Yeah, there we go. If you zoom out a little bit, like we're still in the same levels as we were like a few weeks ago. We're still in the 78, 79. I think we're gonna lay here for a while. If MicroStrategy will not like go under, or there will not be a major war, I think BTC will be pretty good. Like BTC dominance is actually at almost all-time high compared to other alts. I think it's starting to be very high. BTC
yeah, 63.4%.
This is very high, guys. This is like usually it's between like 50 to 60%, but it's been just going up and up and up. Obviously, like when this happens, it means that most of the money is going to BTC. And if you look like where do you park your money when there's uncertainty, especially now when tariffs are coming, you don't know how to really move money around. And what's going to be a good asset to hold? It's either BTC, gold, maybe silver, and then Swiss franc or whatever. But like, I don't know. For me, we're going to hang out here for a while. I would not be surprised if we go under 72 at some point, though. But I'm still seeing like very much strength on BTC on these levels. I think it's a good accumulation stage. And I think we talked yesterday with you, like, hey, if it dips to 72K again or 74, like I'm definitely gonna buy with this huge amount. I think at these levels, I'm buying for sure. What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still uncertain on. Like I said, I was heavily in the camp of, we violate 76.5, and that's kind of a major capitulation sign that we're not just going to be slow for the summer and then, Q3 it's back on, but, probably, a year or more of sideways and down and in a proper bear market with seeing Bitcoin go much, much lower. So I'm still kind of, I don't know, I need to consult with some of the internet TA gurus, and I need to consult my boy Crown Crypto and see what he has to say about yesterday, because it was a wild day. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say no. I mean, just looking at, we had Sol down under 100. I mean, Ethereum is back up a bit, but Ethereum was under 1,500 for a while. I mean, all your major altcoins are just absolute steals right now. If we do get this second half of the bull market, I mean, those are easy 5Xs on a lot of tokens, I would guess. Maybe not ETH, but some of the other, blue chips out there.
But even Sol went under 100 and now 110. So I think that was a good buy. Just people who don't know. So Sol is actually on the buy levels where FTX estate was selling their tranches. So there was two tranches. One was $72 that people bought, and another tranche was 110. So they're at break even. And obviously, if we're talking about big family offices, institutions, they're gonna defend the price. They're not gonna let Sol go under $80 or $90. I'm pretty sure about that. And if you guys are following us on our Telegram channel, you guys can see, hey, we're trying to buy Solana, but no one is selling. So there's like no sellers at these levels.
Even when it dipped under 100, we couldn't find anybody.
Yeah, no, too low prices. But I think overall, like BTC, it's holding very strong compared to other assets. Like dominance is going up. That's one. Usually when there's currency wars between Asia and US, the Asian investors, they're very bullish. Like I would say, like most of our clients at the moment are buying different tokens, obviously at a discount, but they're parking their money on BTC. And this is same thing what happened in previous like bear markets and so forth, people are parking money on BTC. They take huge positions.
Yeah, I think you shared an article here. Let me find it earlier today. Oops. Talking about exactly that with China. Historically, when the Chinese currency, yeah, here we go. Currency war, as you mentioned, especially with the U.S. and China, is traditionally very good for Bitcoin. As China typically uses their currency as a tool in that fight. And when the RMB goes lower, the Chinese typically flee to Bitcoin. And we've seen what happened in the past when they flee to Bitcoin. Now, Ben from Bybit here, talking about how the tariff war is going to be good for Bitcoin, based off another, OG Arthur Hayes' tweet. He said, Chinese capital flight into Bitcoin. Look what happened in 2013, 2015, can very well repeat itself in 2025. So still despite the FUD the last couple of days, there's tons and tons of bearish things happening in the market. We just need the traditional markets to straighten themselves out. And I think we could have the potential to fly from here. But yesterday spooked me a bit.
Yeah, you know what happened yesterday also? This is, I don't know, was it a rumor or was it real? Michael Saylor, Mr. King of Holding, he actually sent, I don't know if this is true, I think I saw it somewhere, that he actually sent his shareholders that, hey, they might need to liquidate a little bit of BTC.
I don't know. I saw something on that too, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, maybe we can cover it later this week, but definitely look out on that. But again, it's a kind of weird atmosphere. Like, someone that has been in this market for such a long time, it's always like this. I feel like the Asians, they just look at this like in a totally different way, in a very long term. And they're like, all right, like something dips 10%, I'm going to buy a shit ton of it. And there's a lot of opportunistic funds at the moment in mainland China, in Hong Kong, Singapore, that are very bullish on crypto. Like most of institutions that we talk to almost every day, or let's say who do we meet, they're very bullish. They're ready to put like 20-30 million dollars and be like, hey, we want to buy something long term.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I like that same perspective. We've been seeing all kinds of people bashing the tariffs for a number of reasons, right, wrong, or otherwise. And people that have for the last 8 years said eat the rich, kill the 1%, death to Wall Street. Well, now that Wall Street's going down, they're all crying about their 401ks and how Trump's so evil and look what he's doing to the economy, blah, blah, blah. And these are also the same people that are complaining about how, oh, we're never going to be able to afford a house because look how the economy's, what's happened to the housing prices, and we can't make enough money because the pay rates haven't kept up with inflation and price of goods, yada yada. Well, guess what? Now you're getting your chance. Here's Nike at 2017 levels. We just rewound the stock markets 8 years. So all of you that are out there, you're talking about kill Wall Street. Well, that's been accomplished. Now there's some amazing buys out there, even in the traditional markets. So I'd love to see people doing a lot less bitching, and they need to shut their mouths and open their wallets. Or in another 8 years when the markets are, absolutely at all-time highs again, or even 4 years, whenever it happens from now, and they're crying again. Well, you had your opportunity. You had your lifetime opportunity to get into the markets, and make life-changing gains. But I think it's one of those rules where people don't really want a solution; they just want a problem to bitch about. So we'll see what happens here. But Nike at 2017 levels, we saw a ton of traditional market. Just amazing opportunities to buy some of the hottest assets, in TradFi. Same thing going on in crypto right now. Some amazing opportunities out there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, like, despite you would not have a lot of money to invest, like even doing $20, $50 buys here and there, in the long term, that accumulates quite a lot. And obviously, like, we are in a downturn now. People are talking about depression/recession. I don't know if that's going to be true, but obviously, like, if you're a long-term investor, you understand, like, hey, this is a very good time to buy. Like, And even if it would go down a little bit more, I think Kramer was saying, or actually BlackRock was saying, we're going to go down still 20%, which would be possible. But man, if you have dry powder, oh my God, this is like, this is like the COVID crash.
That's the issue. we see all these good buys right now, but I don't think not too many people have any liquid assets or liquid cash at the moment to buy more magic internet money.
No, I agree.
Some more news on the potentially positive on the economic front. Trump making some very bold press conference statements and some very bold tweets, really pushing the Fed to cut rates. Multiple times in the last week, he's come out with statements like, there is no inflation. Fed needs to cut rates now. It's not the first time he's tweeted this, but again, yesterday, making very strong statements, pushing Jerome Powell to capitulate and to start cutting rates. If we see a rate cut, I don't think we're going to get the emergency rate cut meeting that people were speculating about yesterday. There's all kinds of rumors going around that kind of help push Bitcoin back up, including the ban on the 90-day or the 90-day delay on tariffs and a emergency Fed meeting that were both turned out to be fake. But the Fed, Jerome Powell, they can only fight this for so long. We looking at the true inflation numbers, it's under 2%. It's like 1.3 or something percent inflation. Essentially nothing. The government numbers are more than double that. We know they're traditionally bad and far behind, but at what point does the Fed cave here? What more are they looking for to cut rates?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, where's gonna be the limit? Like, when are we gonna see the money printing coming? Brr. But like, I think what's happening at the moment, I think U.S. This is my speculation. It's trying to destroy Chinese economy, kinda. I think who's the guy, Gelets or something? The guy who Trump appointed as their finance secretary or whatever.
Ludnick?
I'm not sure. I'm going to pull it out to our next stuff. But anyway, like, there's a clear understanding, like, hey, if the RMB goes down, if it crashes, it's going to be very bad for China. And they have to come to the negotiation table. Like, I totally understand his strategy. But obviously, like, we're going into a absolutely different, I would say, new order. And this new order is going to be for the next 2-3 years. But yeah, I'm expecting the Fed to come in and be like, hey, we need to start printing money. But I don't know whose side Powell is on. So
yeah, I think the next opportunity for that is May. And I'd be very surprised now if we don't get it. I think it was Kalshi or Poly Market had the rate cuts at like 53% for May now. And that number's been growing fairly quickly, especially after yesterday. It shot up quite a bit, as you can imagine. So yeah, it's inevitable. I don't think we're going to get an emergency rate cut here in April, but I think very likely in May that could happen. If and when that does happen, we could see the markets recover very, very quickly. And Bitcoin could be back to all-time highs fairly soon. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it's we talked about tearing the Band-Aid off, and kind of that the Trump administration is kind of taking the approach of tearing the Band-Aid off. We have these issues that we need to solve. We need to solve them in a hurry, and we can't keep kicking the can down the road. The tariffs obviously being the most impactful of that, what we've seen there. But it seems that they're starting to work. The EU now saying they're ready to do zero tariffs. We've seen Japan come out and say they're ready to do zero tariffs. Taiwan has already announced that. Vietnam has already announced that. Israel has announced that. Most of our major trade partners, Canada is ready to come to the tables, they've said. So most of the people that were causing the FUD around all the tariffs, all these different countries, especially Europe was a big one, Canada was a big one. They're all coming to the table and capitulating, giving in to Trump's tariff plans. So yeah, it's been a rocky first quarter, but I think that was as planned and needed. we know the fiat system. We know that this spending that went on during the COVID times just is absolutely not sustainable, and that the other shoe had to drop at some point. And it's this administration's having to deal with it, and might not be. It might not have been the most nice Q1, but I think it's what's been needed to get things back on the right track.
Yeah, but I think we have to also remember, like, it's easy for us to talk about these things, but the reality is there's going to be a lot of layoffs. I know in Europe they're already suffering. Like Finland is in bad shape, Estonia is in bad shape, Sweden is in bad shape. Like, and putting a tariffs war on top of all the like social problems, it's definitely not good, man. Like I get it, we're all capitalistic, but then again, like there's human lives. Again, fiat money. If you can print something forever, this is what happens. And now we're just escalating things. But yeah, I do agree with you, unfortunately. But then again, like I'm just thinking about all the layoffs that are coming and all the normal people that are going to be suffering because of this. Definitely not good.
Well, it looks like in terms of tariffs is going to be sorted out here pretty soon. I think, as a lot of people have been saying, these tariffs more than anything were a negotiating tactic, right? These were never meant to be put in place long term. These were meant to do exactly what they're doing and push everybody to the negotiation table to negotiate better deals. But the only country that hasn't capitulated yet is, of course, China. China's escalating with Trump going back and forth. They threatened an additional 34% increase based off of the increases that Trump announced a week or so ago, and Trump fires back saying he's going to add another 50% on top of the new tariffs if they don't drop if they don't come to the negotiating table. She responded with additional restricting of, I believe it was some rare earth metals and other things. So that China is the wild card here. That might take a little while longer to break and to figure out what's going to go on there. But overall, I think the tariff issues are starting to settle down.
Yeah, well, I hope that. But like, again, I'm going to repeat myself a little bit, but normal people are going to be suffering. There's going to be huge layoffs. This is going to change how the new world order going to be. Like, we were, for example, as a European perspective, like we were always respecting US. We were always looking at US as the leading partner, but all of these like will affect how Europeans will think of US. And I think overall, also in Canada, like I do understand what Trump is trying to do, but in a sense, like he could have been doing this much better, you know, and saying like, let's build factories in United States. Okay, one factory takes 2 years to build at least. Like, how are you gonna build all this shit? I just think like all of this could have been done much better. But then I understand your point. Like, hey, let's take the plaster away and let the blood flow.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the deeper issue is the fiat system, which is, I mean, wow, you and I are both here in the crypto world, but until we can figure out a way to get away from the fiat system, it's just going to be this continuing cycle of, you know, oh, we have to print money to, you know, fund social programs and make life easier for people, because look what happens if we don't. Well, then we see, you know, countries in more debt than they produce in multiple years GDP, which obviously is not sustainable, leading to, you know, potential for huge crashes, and then which means more money printing and on and on and on until you just, you know, can't kick that can down the road any further. So it's there's no easy way out of this, no nice solutions here, but you know, whether it's now or in a few years from now, you know, the world at some point has to answer to this broken fiat system. Like, we can't just keep kicking the can down the road, printing more money, and pretending like things aren't falling apart at the seams. So I don't have necessarily the solution, but and I don't know that what's going on now is the solution, but it is exciting to see some change at least. And
I do agree. I do agree. Like, we definitely need change. We are the generation, like you and me. We've seen 2 recessions now. We've seen 9/11. We've seen robotics probably taking over the world soon. We've seen AI. Like, I don't know. And our dads and our parents basically bought houses for pennies. Like, that's just a fact. Like, there's going to be a huge wealth change, and I guess this is the first start of it. But
well, hey, I was thinking about that yesterday, as you know, stock market crashed, went back to 8 years back, how prices on stocks. Let's just next up is the housing market. We're gonna roll the housing market back a decade.
Well, I hope so. I want to buy a house at some point. Like that would be very nice.
That'd be pretty sweet. So yeah. Speaking of robots, I don't have the article up right here. Did you see the Japanese robot horse that they just?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. How awesome is that? But like this is the thing, man. Like we're going to an age where we have AI. We have now genetics that came out yesterday. They made this wolf.
Yeah, we got dire wolves.
From 15,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. We can now take from the skin of your skin, just take a little piece and you can make a baby. Like, how insane. Like, and then we have robotics even coming in. Like, what are humans going to do?
It's gonna be Mars.
Go to Mars. The next planet. That's going to be the next thing.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting world for our kids to grow up in.
Yeah. But yeah, all of this, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. Like, there's more decentralization needed. Bitcoin is the solution here. And again, no matter where you are, you can always buy BTC. No one can take it away. And we saw what happened with some of the banks. Like, good example, I had a bank account in Finland and they just took it away because I live on. Thank you.
They just told you no more access to your money. It's ours now.
Yeah, I didn't even get an email or anything. Like, how fucked up is that?
Yep. Yeah. Same thing goes on all around the world, in the U.S. as well. That we've seen the debanking of all kinds of people in the last decade here. Your money is not your money. That's what we love about Bitcoin.
Yeah. No.
Speaking of our money, I got two kind of small, not necessarily small, but two non-breaking headlines, I guess. Not as much as the tariff stuff and the market crashes of yesterday, but Trump, again, making more bold claims here. He's now tripling down on calling for Congress to abolish the income tax. I mean, this started out back, I think, in December as a rumor. Is this something he's going to do or not? Now that he's the incumbent president, or the president stepping into office in January, he kind of hinted at it a few times, and since taking office, especially in the last month here, he's going whole hog on this idea of getting rid of income tax and cutting corporate gains tax as well. I think it's more likely we see one or the other, but if we saw both, oh my gosh, I'd be full on pro-America again.
But to be honest, I think he got this idea from Dubai or the Saudis. Like, if you look at there, they don't have any income tax. They have very small corporate taxes there. Mm-hmm. And almost every European that I know that has like a lot of money is moving to Dubai, either for tax reasons or because it's very safe. Unfortunately, America is not safe. I wouldn't be like going to New York and being safe there or feeling safe. It's just like, well, hopefully this will lead to something better. But for me, coming from Finland and Europe, I think some taxes are good. Like if you want free school, free healthcare, I think everyone should have the access to that, no matter in which category you are, if you're rich or not. But yeah.
Yeah, the U.S. has never had an income problem. We have a spending problem. We bring in more tax revenue than most of the world combined, and we still manage to be in a $2 trillion spending deficit every year. So our issue is much less of a revenue issue and a much more of a wasting money everywhere issue. So I think we could stand to cut a few taxes around the U.S. at the moment. And then the other, I think this is what really has saved us and pumped the markets back green. Our boy Z coming in once again to save the day, this time in Pakistan. Obviously not a major crypto country, but I guess it's bullish to see Pakistan officially welcomes Z as the government's strategic advisor on crypto. When I first saw this, I thought it was an AI video, but it's been around long enough. I believe it's actually true. So Cool for CZ, cool for Pakistan, and again more bullish adoption by the nation states, which again that's a tidal wave that when that dam breaks, hold on to your butts, because when the Cold War for crypto goes hot between all these countries, that's where we see that $500,000 $1 million Bitcoin come into play.
No, I agree, but to be honest, I heard like Pakistan has been they've been fighting a lot of strategic oil, strategic minerals, and so forth. So this might be a longer term play by CZ, but definitely like very surprised. There must be something else going on here. Yeah, I'll react it the same way as you. Like this must be AI, but
there's always something going on behind the scenes. So you never. That's one of the fun things about this market is you don't really ever know. You want to be able to react and act on alpha that you get early. But there's so much fake bullshit out there. It's hard to say. If you would have reacted, well, it turned out well in this case, but if you would have reacted yesterday to this 90-day tariff rumor and aped in, you could have got. If crypto did what the traditional market did, you would have got absolutely rubbed. Unfortunately, we didn't. So there's the news, the unverified stories are constantly flowing around as fast and volatile as the crypto market is. Makes it really difficult sometimes. I'm glad I'm not a trader.
No, I agree. Don't do leverage. But yeah, I think this is a good time to stop. My first saying is just be careful. Expect a lot of volatility. Don't do perps. Don't do futures. You will get wrecked. It's a very uncertain time, but it's a very good time to buy BTC. I think we're still on an uptrend, and BTC dominance is going up.
Yeah, I'll take one last look at that here. BTC dominance, 64% almost. I mean, we pumped up to over 64 yesterday. And like you said, historically, going back here, if we want to look, last time we were up in the 70s. As you can see, the bull run last cycle proceeded by pumping up above 50%, staying above 50%, reaching up into the high 60s and low 70s. And then when that capitulated and crashed, that was when the market's over. So, if we were, headed into a full-on bear market, we would expect to see Bitcoin dominance coming down some as people tend to stable up when that happens. So I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks here. A lot of news stories that are going to be breaking, whether that is around tariffs, whether that's around taxes, whether that's around interest rates and the Fed. Definitely if you're a trader, you need to be glued to your monitor. You need to be glued to all the whatever news sources you're looking to get your alpha, because this week is most definitely not going to be a boring week.
No. Yeah, just stay safe, guys, and again, don't do leverage.
Quickest way to get wrecked.
Yeah, no. Anything else on your mind?
That's it for me today, man. Our 15-minute planned recording has gone more than double that now, so I'm fresh out of hot takes.
I guess that's every time we do a recording. But guys, please follow us. Please like our video, and hope we can get you guys to see more of these in the future.
Absolutely. See you guys on Friday.
Friday, this. Ciao.